welcome back to the Backbeat Pat Corner. Here we are with Chantal du Champignon. One night in a bar he was having a jar when destiny before him beckoned. For a vision burst in on top of his thirst and it flattened his pint in a second. The lady was fair with her short blonde hair and a beauty to shame all queens, with her glistening lips and twisting hips and her slim fitting Levi jeans. He slid off a stool and to observe the first brew he checked his fly in his vanya and got ready for a story all glitter and glory like that of Jim and Grania. He opened with the line, "How you sunshine, how's it going, my name is John." And the goddess replied with the toss of her head, saying, "I'm Chantal du Champignon." "Oh, by God," he said, "you're a thoroughbred, you're no cave woman from Calvin. You're operatic, aristocratic, and very aromatic, so tell us please what you having." From the fur on her brow he could see how she was torn between the short and the long. "Oh, I'll have a half of harp," said Chantal, the goddess du Champignon. She'd been hitching around and as yet hadn't found any savages scouting for scalps. She'd scaled the peaks of Kildare and Leaks, which left her feeling homesick for the Alps. She'd seen nearly all Donegal and learned Sláinte and Sloan and Hispanic, and some racial tourist who couldn't stand tourists told her go to hell or to Connacht. Yeah, and some racial tourist who couldn't stand tourists told her go to hell or to Connacht. It wasn't ere she landed with a week on her hands before flying back home to France. And she said she'd like to see Galway and Mayo, so it was then that John saw his chance. He said, "I'm your man, I'm a highest fan, and I've damn all to do just now, and my 5-acre farm won't come to harm. Sure the calf it can beat the old cow." He said he'd show her Galway and Mayo, be his privilege and pleasure. And for fear she'd grumble, he done like Cromwell and threw in Clare for good measure. He said, "To hell with the silage, let's clock up some mileage. You'll be as safe as with your daddy." She said she liked him more than she did before, and asked for a smell like St. Paddy. Yeah, liked him more than she did before, then asked for a smell like St. Paddy. So next day they drove by Trick and Cove all along the western seaboard, and the music of her voice was twice as nice as the notes from the keyboard. For example, "Oh John, you turn me on, you completely fill my senses." She could see stars in the sky shining right through his lenses. Pulling up near Westport she asked, "Do you stop it to take it the piss?" That's not what he had in mind, all he wanted to take was a kiss. Well, her eyes shone bright and her teeth gleamed white, and her breath sure smelled of garlic, as she tore into his lips like fish and chips, right there in the shadow of Patrick. Yeah, right there in the shadow of Patrick. After such happiness there was no turning back, so they clapped up 100 more miles, spending many hours in a round horse, them of all shapes and sizes, at passage, graves, lakes and caves, in historic and holy places. Near Saint and Hero, they reduced down to zero. This place beverage, and the intensity of their propensity raised to something way above average. Then way down below as the gales did blow, and the rain it fell so furious. To him she swore love before God above, and he thought, yeah, this is serious. Yeah, and he thought, yeah, this is serious. I'd pulled a brown under tons of stone. They drank rainbow-coloured wines. In that dolmen he pitied King Solomon, having to keep 300 concubines. Then he showed her the cliffs of Moher, and she showed him a thing or two. At the pub in Doolin she said, I'm not fooling, I could spend my life here with you. Well, the days flew fast and the weeks soon passed, and between one thing and another she'd a plane to catch way back to Paris to see her mad sister and brother. So they loaded the van with cheese in hand and 6 packs from the fridge, with a Guinness keg for the final leg of the rarest rolling pilgrimage. Yeah, with a Guinness keg for the final leg of the rarest rolling pilgrimage. Well, in Rue and Clonfert they had a wee flirt, and he thought he heard St. Brendan cheering, and they discovered new joys in Clonmacnoise, courtesy the thought of St. Kieran. Into Dunlavin about 20 to 7 he dropped in to see his old Uncle Ted, and hitting Glendalough at 11 o'clock they spent the whole night in St. Kevin's bed. Next morning, when yawning as the day was dawning, it dawned on him she's going, and driving through the smoke these words she spoke before she boarded the Boeing. I'll acquaint my parents with what's transpired, and then her bag she packed, saying I'll return again on the wings of desire, and up with you I'll shack. Yeah, I'll return again on the wings of desire, and up with you I'll shack. Speeding home he slowed through Ballinasloe, and was home in an hour and a half, and although it was late to celebrate, he killed a wee fattened calf. Next day he booked a room for the honeymoon, where none would be any the wiser, and in raptures and ruptures he published his nuptials in the local advertiser. For 6 days or 7 he thought he wasn't having, was trying things out for size. But like any other lover he soon discovered it was all in Ramadan's paradise. While he was thinking the kingdom had come and was chanting hallelujah, Chantal was listening to a different drum and singing Johnny I hardly knew ya. Yeah, listening to a different drum and singing Johnny I hardly knew ya. Well, he danced and he sang till the night she rang, when she said sit yourself down on the sofa, and she gave him some news that gave him the blues. In the nutshell she said, cheery, it's over. On the plane going home she'd been told of the fact by a man who was once John's friend, that he'd spent 2 years in the loony bin, having lost his marbles going round the bend. Yeah, having lost his marbles going round the bend. Oh, Chantal said, John, that's a lie, but that's neither here nor there. 'Twas 5 years he'd spent in the oxygen tank a hole in his ozone layer, just for the want of Whippy that had him whippy, and Chantal had helped him sort that trouble. So says he, apply some fire to the wings of desire, and get back here on the double. Yeah, apply some fire to the wings of desire, get back here on the double. Oh John, she said, I quite agree, you're badly in need of a woman, and if you think I'm going to be your shrink, you've got another thing coming. Consider besides, if I was your bride, in 40 years time I'd be having no fun, for I'm now no more than 24, and you're tipping 41. Oh yes, John, I'll miss your eyes and kiss on your fingers through my hair, but if I lost my head in St. Kevin's bed, I got it back in the tear-fed chair. When she got off that jet, her parents she met, get your act together, they said together. 'Twas then she saw the line it draw, had a son-in-law who was a middle-aged old Irish header. Yeah, had a son-in-law who was a middle-aged old Irish header. As sure as I'm fond of you, I'm fond, and I might even write to say, I do not agree, I'll not forget our pretty quandary paradise. Now I'm in a hurry, be happy, don't worry, you can think how much you've grown. And as John opened his face to plead his kiss, she hung up the friggin' phone. And as John opened his face to plead his kiss, she hung up the friggin' phone. John staggered to the mirror to confront the terror of him being a put upon Paddy of a peasant. So he made smithereens of her slim fitting jeans that she'd left behind as a present, and he made mincemeat meat of her other little treats, the 2 blue glass drinking goblets, then sat down to write her some words, and busting was his head without tablets. Sat down to write her some words, but busting was his head without tablets. Next morning he awoke, his heart was broke when he suddenly chanced to remember he was in the right place, for he hadn't her address, not to mention her telephone number. So he took a quick look in the French telephone book, but that was so unsatisfactory. After all his research he was still in a lurch, for her Chantal du Champignon was ex-directory. Well, as time went on, broken heart John was a wreck by all reckoning. He'd lost 2 stones sitting by the phone, but the silence from France was deafening. Oh, with his breath he waited for the post, he waited all day and all night long. There never came a letter or a card to John's farmyard from Chantal du Champignon. No, there never came a letter to John's farmyard from Chantal du Champignon. And he tried to make a pass at her via the ambassador, and explain he was besotted. That being very sympathetic, he said something about Alex and told him to go get knotted. He hired a spy whose fields were high to help progress the search along. Well, he collected his fees but came up with no leads on Chantal du Champignon. John wondered, was she down at heel in the town of Lille, or at large in La Rochelle, or letting down her hair in the funnel's burger while belly dancing her way to hell? Might she be singing tea blues below low in Toulouse, picking sea pockets in perfume, and him thinking what the hell if her name was not Chantal du Champignon. Yeah, thinking what the hell if her name was not Chantal du Champignon. Having lost the scent, gung ho, he went to phone Monsieur Mitterrand, and to the president he couldn't get connected, so he threatened his aide de camp. Then the tower be true resigned and withdrew, although he'd done no wrong. Thought he had her tape, but the vixen had escaped. Chantal du Champignon. Well, a lot of water has been led to the slaughter since she led his merry dance, and he never took a wife and was thus wasted his life looking out for a letter from France. Oh Chantal, Chantal, should we love you still more than he did in the times that are gone? Although she's now past 84 and John's now tipping 101, and John now tipping 101. He lived out all his mates and lost all his slits, and he's now back in the oxygen tent, and his ozone hole is scoring own goals in its pitch black firmament. Oh, no more tears in his eyes and tars in the sky, and he's lost contact with his lenses, yet still dreams of getting through a night with Chantal to recover his soul and senses. Yeah, still dreams of getting through a night with Chantal to recover his soul and his senses. On hearing John mutters, ye middle-aged Irish nutters, this warning you take from me. Take care when you go out to get scuppered, when drinking in your own local hostelry. Don't be a fool and stay on your stool. Sit tight and drink yourself stupid. Give your number one to the whiskey and rum, and don't waste your vote on a Cupid. Yeah, give your number one to the whiskey and rum, and don't waste your vote on a Cupid. And if by chance some lassie from France with luminous and short blonde hair lights up your horizon, you stick to your poison, and two simple words beware. Make no overture for a misguided tour, cause Dermot and Ron you went wrong. After all the mileage she'll leave you in your silage like Chantal du Champignon. On a lawyer judge's disregard they advise to you just then, or you'll be stuck in for scare for 100 years like a bloody Alfred hen. When all said and done, John flew near the sun, and for a week he lived like a swan. When his fling was high on the wing with Chantal du Champignon. Yeah, when his fling was high on the wing with Chantal du Champignon. Well, he hoped Chantal was still his pal, and that she didn't view the fling a blunder, and he'd order more than there before, like the ground she walked on, or maybe now lays under. And with the help of God, St. Brendan, Kieran and Kevin, who when in heaven he hopes he lies, and that when in paradise that Chantal